Great. So, I mean, I understand that the Enchanted Interiors is a major exhibition for the Guildhall Art Gallery, which I suppose makes it all the more heartbreaking to think that at the moment people cannot experience it in person too. So, but before we talk
Yeah.
about it in more detail, I was wondering whether you would be able to maybe say a few words about it to introduce it to anyone who has not yet heard about it.
Yeah, so I mean, it's been put together originally by a curator called Madeline Kennedy for the Lane Art Gallery in Newcastle, and it's toured to us, and we've adapted it with her to fit our space. And what it does is it explores the kind of sinister implications of a very prominent theme in 19th century painting. So it's largely based in a Victorian mode. But this idea of the interior as a gilded cage where women can be confined. And you'll notice in Victorian art, there are often these women in very highly decorated spaces depicted in this great sort of luxurious place. But they're alone, and there's always this tension between luxury and entrapment, which sort of reflects the kind of the legal and marital position of women at the time, as having to give up their freedom and to sort of accept an entrapment as a way of living. So it looks at how that's evolved through the 19th century. It takes in Orientalist and pre-Raphaelite paintings, which depict captive women, damsels in these exquisite interior spaces, and it sort of challenges the Victorian fascination with passive beauty, and brings in works by modern and contemporary female artists who can reveal the more complex ideas of enclosure and enchantment as a kind of spellbound limitation. And then it looks at sort of the home as a potentially dangerous place, and subverts that tradition of female figures as decorative objects, because often women in those high Victorian pictures are displayed as though they're part of the furniture. They're another thing, another beautiful thing to look at, this sensuality and opulence. But there is a sinister idea that runs through it, and this exhibition kind of opens that up for people. And all the contemporary works in it are by female artists who are examining that idea, challenging it, and pushing back at it.
So I understand that the exhibition is also split or divided into different parts too, right?
Yeah, there are 8 sections that kind of gradually guide you through from the Victorian captive beauties and harem scenes, which are particularly popular at the time, into slightly darker ideas and of resisting the enchantment, and ways in which we start to add modern pieces to sit with the historic works. And so gradually by the end, you have more of an understanding of a fuller picture of how women are being displayed, and then also how perhaps within these pictures, the artists are conscious that this is a somewhat poisoned chalice, and this idea of the gilded cage is kind of made more explicit as you go through the show.